It's about that time. SRB versus Sleepers. It might be one of the matches that just shows us a very big upset, but a match that's exciting. We're starting on Corrode. Don't usually see it as a first mapper, QB. This is about to be a fun one.
Yeah, SRB are going up against an all-rookie squad, but could have been cleaner from SRB yesterday in their matchup. I know the desk are very optimistic that there's going to be a big build-up, but they're also going up against a pretty puggy team, right? A lot of these Zoomer fraggers, I think 3 of them have a lot of time on Duelist too, so I'm interested to see on SRB's map pick how this is going to go.
Yeah, double controller up in the business for both teams as well, but the double initiator coming in from the side of SRB should be very fun to watch. Clove also such a fun Asian to be able to just break down executes on this map. Let's tap in with it. 5 men ready to go through the attack side on B, and it's already looking good for the side of EEPY.
Well, that is a jump scare for EXO. Just wanted to jump spot, and here is the flood. Satellite holds his own perfectly. A 2-for-1. That makes the job easier for SRB on the retake. Speaking of which, Nature will be coming through that mid cut. We'll have a recon to maybe guide Xander in with a paranoia. If they take a fight and choke, that'll go well for them. But EP don't want anywhere near that.
Link control already there. Tanza gonna be the first contact. Ion gets that hinder down, but past that, what could the rest of the team do?
Okay, 2 versus 2, not too bad, but time is of the essence. Nature gonna be first contact here. Round Solato's just trying to bunker down with that crossfire. Beautiful shot! And the montages are great. Can you finish off someone with 5 HP? Yes, he can! And that is the pistol for the Sleepers.
Xander should have brought more bullets to the gunfight. Unfortunate for the side of SRB. Comes down to just 1 kill at the very end. Salada up in the business. And yeah, Sierra was not joking when Roy was actually showing us, when she said, Roy was showing us some of these clips from Salada. This individual, this unit of a player is so good at just transferring kills left to right, being able to keep that crosshair steady as he shoots. It's amazing, and it could be the X factor in stopping SRB.
Well, 3-0. I mean, Roy invested in those stocks pretty early, and they're paying off. We'll see how the match ends, though. What's interesting is that this is SRB's map pick, but Sleepers actually picked Corrode against Core. They won an OT. Same thing with Split. That's Sleepers map pick. SRB picked that against Blue Water. So both these teams are comfortable in the current map set. It's about execution, and Ion does just that. That Duelist debut is looking good, especially with the better weaponry. You would expect just that.
Fast and furious, always breaking the laws of physics, and it seems like EP are doing the same thing, taking a page out of that fast book, getting on the side as soon as possible. No one breaking that leer, not the leer, the scan over for the one side, and Sorax just holding the flank as well. The approach from EP from the side and from the front, from the side, from the back, everywhere just looks good. The flank's covered, the entry's nice. They're looking strong so far. I know it's just an anti-eco, but the protocols look really, really solid.
And Sorax has got a lot of orbs going too, so the Viper's pick could be the first ult online for that squad, but I like that they're just coming in with that confidence. SRB have a lot to prove after kind of reconstructing their identity with this new roster. They got a lot of big names, some excitement behind them. I know even just hearing the desk yesterday talk at length about Exa and really all the veterans on this squad, and now it's about just building that chemistry going forward. But EP kind of reminds me of this NV play style of just very puggy, very scrappy. They got a lot of duelists. They know how to frag. They got the mechanics, but do they have the depth of strategy to go up against the minds of SRB?
This will be the tester kind of that round. I do see the clock frozen for now, though, so either attack timeout or attack to check. We'll just see what it is in a second. I'll talk about the comps a little bit more and what could happen as well in terms of overflowing, wins for the side of EP. Salada getting that ultimate online helps the entry that much more. Leo with conversion paths on this map. I know Ion's also there on the other side, but being able to just enable your other duelists to go in, Tanza with the shield and you're hindered, almost unstoppable. So when these ultimates are online for the side of EP, it might get too crazy for SRB to handle.
And just some notes from what I noticed from SRB yesterday. They won both their maps against Blue Water in OT, and I think synchronization is still being perfected between Satellite and Ion on those double duelists. Ion seems to prefer this more chaotic, fast play style, reminiscent of the Envy days. Satellite still tries to trade where he can, but sometimes he's a step behind, so that can be exposed. I think Nature and Exa didn't have the best of day ones, but there's something to build off of there.
Yeah, look at this build that Tonza's rocking with. Pushing a wall forward, actually getting another trade onto Satellite as well, one of the first picks. That wall stops the Odin spray, gives you an angle onto the Odin as well. That's some very cool use of ISO right there to start the round. The overheat from Tonza as well just kind of shows you exactly how EP want to play this map. Lemon Kiwi's absolutely right. It's aggressive. It's that envy style. It's the, we want to scrap with you first. I want to be at the start of every sentence, and I want to be the punctuation at the end of every paragraph. They are just running up a really good essay of a round right now to kind of win this bonus. They have a chance to make things close and personal on B as well. Nobody is on this site, and they have the lead.
SRB are so paranoid about flanks. Like, Exa is checking his own spawn and maybe also adjusting the fact they were at a man disadvantage before that. Just wanting to give that space, let EP come in and play for retake. Exa gonna be in a good spot, but this flank is forming. Xander and Ion creeping in. Paranoia too, but this is taking a lot of time.
Lots of time. They have so much control on so many sides of the map. They kind of understand that the flank might be an issue. The flank might be the purpose here.
And that needs to kind of kick into gear very soon, or the spike's going to be ticking down. And EP also just cleared through mid, and anchoring within the site is Sorix. It's a good hunt, especially from EP, but it doesn't matter. X's going for the ace. Ion robs him, but it's a team effort. I was worried if they had enough time to do it, and they pull it off.
It's huge. I mean, X's performance there is just absolutely amazing. Staying inside that heaven pocket is something that tier 1 teams can't even do, is just take control and gain control of Art the entire time. So nice on the side of SRB. I'm kind of confused and maybe a little bit EP myself, and watching EP in the fact that, yeah, no one was coming to them in Link at all. They were not ready for a flank to come through, and they didn't have art control either. So they're kind of just going all in to maybe get some picks as trades towards the end and get scrappy with it. SRB already making adjustments to be on the same page, enable their players on site. This might be the kind of switch up I'm liking to see from SRB.
Sleeper's already being conditioned that it seems to be Exa being solo on that side, Nature with the Odin in mid. But they need to kind of assess how the A site's going to go. They're going to leverage that Viper wall to cut off that A link, and chasing down this Omen as a Prowler and some util. SRB just holding back where they can. Good refract and a follow-up from Tonza. But wait, they stagger it one by one, and Xander gets the mop out and cleans them up. And that's enough for SRB to get back on their feet.
Mop making the floor look shiny, and it looks like it's so slippery that EP end up falling over 3K for Xander. You're absolutely right. What a player, what a man, and what a way to hold things down. A waylay dash, ISO shield inside that Viper smoke as well. EMEA could be jealous of us in the way we handle our tech pauses, by the way. A very fast one to start off, but might be doubling down on them. Before, it was a mic issue. Might be the same here. The comms should have been looking good on EP there. Execution, though, a problem. They can supplement some of those issues now with Tonza's ultimate, though, right? Already have that entire just 1v1 chamber online. Should be good to watch and see exactly where they throw it.
Especially if Exa keeps his wall up over at B, you can just try to pull. You know he's going to be somewhere on the site, but I don't know what kind of style Tonza wants to play, to go for a blind kill contract, or what information they can really get off of Duct if he throws a haunt in. He seems to be very proficient with those lineups. So EP just need to be careful of how they flood in, because Xander kind of farmed them.
Yeah. Got to be very, very careful. I mean, that's one of the things with SRB. Some of their defensive lines will always be changing. Before, they really wanted to hold just elbow and wanted to test how EP pushed it forward. Understood there's so much util being thrown. Immediately, Xander gives up elbow, shows presence, ends up at yard. So there'll be another adjustment as well. EP will always be wondering exactly where Xander is. The questions are always changing for the side of the defense for SRB. Really cool push forward, though. I want to know, when it comes to Corrode, if you're playing Kiwi, where are you locking down? Where's the expertise you have on this map when you dabble in it?
I just like playing the left side of the map. The rest is just complicated. There's all kinds of smokes and stupid little cracks to try and peek through in mid. I don't like that. The right side, I don't know. It just, there's so many corners to check, but I don't know. And then there's a lot of Odin abusers or chambers to worry about. What about you, though?
I'm a veto, like, max slider. I say slider in terms of the fact that I'm TPing across this map like I'm moonwalking. Like, I love veto on this map. Not sure if you've dabbled with veto on this map, but I'm also a big ISO enjoyer. I like the fact that everything, like you're talking about, the Odin, can just be completely blocked out by his contingency. You know, you just end up pushing that wall forward. There's nothing they can do.
And speaking of that ISO, I mean, Envy knew all about that. They showed us so much of like that Yoru ISO. And just to speak about Ion's knowledge of how to play against an ISO, it's not an ISO Yoru, but it's just the fact that you probably can't bring out an op as easily if EP are going to be playing this from front to back. So that's why I like the Outlaw purchase of Ion having the 2 bullets instead of just the 1. I don't think you need to not buy the op at all, but it is a consideration going up against an ISO.
Yeah, I like that you bring up the op. It's a lot of impact on this map. Another form of impact on the map too are some of the more consistent things you see inside the team, right? If everything has, you know, super bright colors and it's all different, if you're looking at different, I don't know, species of birds, the one thing they all have is wings. And some birds are faster than others, depending on how fast they fly. The wing speed for teams, or how fast the bird is itself, if I guess they were racing, if that's how we quantify these teams, I think is the Viper player on each roster. There's always a Viper on this map. How the Viper plays as well is kind of huge. Exa and Sorex, the matchup here should be really fun to watch. Both players are very, very great.
Playing on different sides of the world too. I think it's West Coast versus East Coast, so just figuring out some ping stuff right now, y'all. But back from SRB on their first rifle round, and I wonder what kind of Omen play Xander would go with the TP, because we've already seen just how exposed both spawns have been. Of, I guess, actual sentinels, although Viper kind of cosplays as one, how much that flank can be abused, and if Xander is really gonna go for it this early in the map.
Yeah, Xander's also a really cool key to understand how much of a difference SRB have as an approach to this map as well, right? You have Salada on one side who has a lot of aggression. You're able to have fast fights, use close ultimate as well to get a refight in there as well, lots more distraction. Xander, you saw it from that side, paranoia is huge. Omen, one of the people or one of the agents in Valorant that have an ultimate ability as something you can use every single round. That paranoia, give it to Harbor actually. Let's take Omen's paranoia, give it to Harbor as just a common ability, or even his ultimate. His ultimate is kind of a pseudo-para anyways, but it's nuts in the way that Xander can just affect the map passively through util, and Salada has to kind of work for that in rifling. It's a really cool relationship. Both those smokers, the dome smokers, will end up sharing as this map goes on. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just Ion himself. You mentioned Ion a little bit. I mean, could be playing inside tier 1 right now, just too young. What a problem to have in approaching the game. His Waylay versus Leo's Waylay. I feel like Ion is such a nice little system duelist, always helping out his team inside those retakes. Leo is going to end up actually, yes, enabling ISO, but sometimes ISO will enable Leo. It's really interesting watching Waylay in a double duelist format. You can have someone that helps or have someone that throws that hinder and takes the fight themselves.
And the Dusk pointed out that difference of experience and perhaps execution of just SRB having these long resumes of all these orgs, all these games, all these opportunities they've had, and now coming together as these pieces of a puzzle. And maybe it does just take time for that to grow, but Challengers has had curses of teams that have been destined for greatness on paper, but has not delivered on those fronts. So yeah, that is something to build off of, while as teams like EEPY, I feel like we've also underrated premier teams or just teams that are puggy or don't have Challengers experience. I'm thinking about like Burger Boys or others, like even Envy you could consider puggy before they showed us how structured they were. I think Sleepers are very underestimated, and Roy is very hyped on them.
Oh, absolutely. The big thing too, when it comes to experience for Premier, you can go towards the very opposite side too. Tier 1, right? Look at someone like Nature, one of the last people to mention inside these rosters, but definitely not reserved for last because he's the least. I mean, drop the evil, still a genius. This guy with the head-to-head with Duck right now when it comes to initiators as well, it's very good for the execute. Sova, so good at controlling mid with the dart. Odin spamming mid as well. The drone so good at controlling things and letting slower duelists get in the business. The tempo Sova offers is huge. You have to just be so good in prep. Ultimate's also different. Duck can just enable Yoru's with Fade to be able to have a super combo with the ultimate. Can enable Waylay to get in there, and you have no idea where she's dashing above you. It's nuts, the potential for both these rosters, with both these compositions, what each team can do.
And what I'm looking at too going forward is the trends or how fluid Satellite and Xander are going to be around the map. Because right now, X is kind of solo on the left side of the map, and SRB EP strat book is. But if Exa keeps being alone, that could be exploitable. I mean, it already was when Exa was jump peeking. But Satellite, these early knives, where is that going? Can that shift towards the left side of the map if EP is kind of starting off there? Can Xander add even more delay through the left side of the map by throwing out a paranoia or supplementing with smoke? So it's about how SRB are going to support each other going forward, and how they sync up. Because I don't doubt the lack of support. It's just the timing of it that was a little off yesterday.
We're right back in to the matchup. Team comp Tom versus team comp Jerry, right? You got the big cat sitting nice and tall on the side of SRB. Lots of potential with the util, and then that little mouse running around with double duelists trying to get onto the site and feel the big cheese. And Leo gets a nice chomp. Satellite stops things down with a few mouse chops after the fact. The flash comes in, and he's actually holding this down really well with the cost of the ultimate.
That's that support. The knife hits Exa, brings the wall down. The EP start to flood in, but Xander reestablishes the smoke and kind of messes up the flood here for Sleepers, especially when their front line fell over that quickly. They got the kill onto Exa, but the backup for SRB is so quick because they're mostly sitting in mid, ready to pivot to wherever.
Yeah, the tip of the spear goes dull now with Salada and Leo down. Look at Xander moving forward, getting a grasp on the handle of his weapon as well, and breaking that shaft absolutely in half. Nothing left for EP to poke with. Just Tonza left with what?
Got the spike.
A stinger? You'll have spike. What does that piece of box do really? Okay, have to punch a little bit. It's spicy, but cheese falls off the crust. I mean, it's kind of tough. 3-2 SRB in the lead.
So yeah, Xander flanked through spawn. Just thought he was going to do it with the ult. He did it with his feet, just very silently. But that's something Sleepers are going to have to take note of. Who's going to be watching for that? And you also still want to be decisive on where you're going and communicate the game plan while not being overly cautious either. There needs to be a balance, but you cannot be exposed by Xander like that all the time.
Yeah, you might see a pattern develop because like Sleepers need to stick together to make sure, you know, their death ball looks so good. Faye needs to be there too. The only person really I see working is, you know what, hold off on that for a second. Big type of like Osboss play from the backside of this A main. It's kind of red a lot of the times. We're gonna conversion pass over to the left side though. It looks like something's going on here. Everyone's trying to come in. It's chaos on the mains. Defensive side challenges again. Nature's one of the only people left on site.
Yeah, the Nightfall from Duck hit 2 people from SRB in the entrance. Kill contract was more towards a link, and I don't think it even pulled anyone. So now Exa 1v3. A very hyped up player coming up from APAC, but just can't handle the swing from Salada. That guy's got sick mechanics.
He's shooting good. Rarely misses, and at the same time, yeah, it was the kill contract that went in. Did miss, but Tonza's almost up to another one. Almost basically halfway there. Needs one more kill. 3-3, and what we thought would be a match that was kind of one-sided towards SRB. There is a level of aggression here from Team Sleepers that is hard to control. So many duelists and pseudo-duelist type agents on one team comp. You can really push down on attack and take these sites. The big thing though is, I'm not sure what you do on defense here to equal things out. You need at least 6-7 rounds on this side to try to take that lead.
Prowler kind of missed there from Doug, so he has to use both, and that kind of flusters Sleepers into peeking into an op. At least it's traded, and the op is not recoverable from SRB. But Nature can get involved and maybe pepper them down with an Odin. Sleepers are actually gonna change their minds and leave.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate when you have a divey comp like this that needs the util. A knife scan can slow you down. 4-man scan there from the side of Satellite makes these guys rethink their plan.
Salada can be the tip of that spear, especially with the ult to be aggressive, but this team kind of floods in all together, and Tonza can help with that. But SRB already one step ahead of this, regrouping towards B, or at least 2 of them are. Just have to be careful how Exa tries to cut them off, and is very low on fuel, so Sleepers could feel like it's a moment to go in.
Not sure how far this snake bite will delay, but running right into the spray of Nature is huge. 2 picked up, so a lot of going in, breaking the crosshairs from the other side. Duck actually ends up railing these guys down. It's huge. Space gain inside Arts, but that body might fall. Salada, I'm not sure has the time to get a kill there. Down to a 2v2.
At least he broke the crosshairs and contributed to kills for Sleepers, just deciding to go in after his ult got procced. So now with the pit online, it's going to be a difficult fortress. You do have a knife from Satellite, if you could try to hit that. Don't think it connected. Looks like Sorix is okay. And up and above, Duck watches over, looking for the ace. And Xander is amongst the smoke. And he's starting to dwindle in a second. And Sorix just has to play their life. Xander takes the pit down. The spike is ticking. And all Duck has to do is be patient.
Ace from Duck. What a way to open and close that round. The Odin still so strong on this map. It will be lost inside that round too. Let's just keep the ace where we found it. Maybe not pick that weapon back up. Nope. Instantly revise. What a round from Sleepers.
Really was. It got chaotic too, and they starting to break down B. I like that Viper's pit on the offense too. Disrespecting SRB, I like that, because you're going up against such a formidable team, and with the composition that Sleepers are running, it is just a lot of running, gunning, and seeing what Duck can get you.
Bring them down.
Some will take for B space. I'm liking the switch up from Sleepers here. A lot of the times, wherever they start is where they finish in the next 20 seconds. Taking more of mid space. What SRB have done to adapt is kind of strengthen the extremities, strengthen the sights. They've lost that mid-top player, or top mid player, and now late is open as well, as you have to go to yard to defend A main. Tanza has found a route to come in. That double tap still active. The shield will last the whole way through. Molly works it out. Knife comes in. Dash will get interrupted. Hunter's Fury's there too. It's tough. You're slow. There's no chance to be found. The ground electrified. Everybody combo down. Just one smoke to stop the 15 disaster on the site. Duck will quack no more. Xander finds some galore with the Guardian. It's not possible past that. Another 2v3 in the favor of EEPY.
Yeah, good Hunter's Fury from nature, a paranoia from Xander that hit EEPY, but all they did was turtle up and be in positions to trade with each other. Now Sleepers, though, weren't safe enough for a plant until now. Here's the approach. SRB have the Odin. They'll get Sleepers dancing here in a second, while Ion at close range with the Stinger could do a lot of damage, but Sleepers, they're bailing each other out. They have mollies, and they got crossfires. It's going to be hard for SRB to overcome this. Wait a minute, dashing in, starts to make space. Ion does get the upgraded Vandal. Nature is making space. The bulldozer! Sorix does not have sight on the spike. Gets tapped and keeps his cool. Sleepers up by 2.
Can't believe they end up starting that one, get hindered a little bit. The ultimate comes in, knife slows them down. Somehow they find a way to keep poking with that spear. So much util dumped on that site. And yeah, it's SRB. You're kind of losing momentum. You're kind of losing the game plan in some of these fights. Take that time out, get some advice, rock it back down again. They have what it takes kind of to get the courage to fight these sites. The tactical timeout for an eco as well could go really well if they supplement it with those conversion paths from Ion. I mean, this could go any which way still. I'm liking the style of Sleepers, though.
Yeah, with the information that you have on the SRB side, like the knife tells you numbers, the recons are getting shot down or not used from nature. So SRB have numbers, but not location. So Ion is diving in, not seeing anyone, and you're not having that overwhelming pressure from Ion because he's just looking for targets and based on the scoreboard isn't finding them in the best of scenarios. So Sleepers, they execute quickly. If SRB can have better delay towards the right side of the map, you can force Sleepers to pivot. And there could be some cutoff opportunities from SRB through mid, but they seem to be neglecting that more to reinforce the perimeter.
Yeah, honestly. And that reinforcement of the perimeter is just one of the things they're just getting pulled to. Could be something else after this if EEPY decide to switch it up. I think Sleepers might be looking for a Baskin Robbins sponsorship as well. They've got like 32 flavors of attacking with these double duelists. Like sometimes it's Leo double diving in, giving Tanza space. In that round, Tanza shielding up, giving Leo the space to dive in. He dives, Tanza comes out again. I'm looking at cookies and cream. I'm looking at Rocky Road. It's looking like a rainbow, orange sherbet types of deliciousness from the side of Sleepers in the way they attack this link. I'm loving this team right now, and SRB needs to nip this in the bud before I get a brain freeze, because honestly, if these guys keep up this aggression, SRB will be left ice cold on this defense side. Remember, the win con for Sleepers here is to get at least 6 rounds on attack.
And SRB just can't afford ice cream or even any better guns, so this is already just not a good game for them, as SRB just taking that space in mid, trying to set up Ion, and quickly dashes out. And then they go back to securing the perimeter and leaving Nature inserted in mid. And Sleepers kind of know SRB are defaulting.
Now they have the option, dash in first, shield up. They've barely used any util to gain that mid control and shove these guys back on the site. That being said, Got to be careful here. Yes, you have an eco. Yes, you have one of the best sites and spaces to use these weapons. Can you convert these kills?
Like the Prowler with the dashes from the Waylay. Sleepers definitely know how to make the space. Can they keep it? And Nature does get spotted. I like this duo ship from SRB. They're stacked together. There's some rotators still behind. Nightfall from Doug. Sleepers trying to get ahead of this fight while they have the numbers. And SRB are going to be victims to the zone. And if they don't take shelter quite soon. But wait, there's some fight back. There's some bite to SRB. This bandit of Xander is doing work, turns the tables back in the defense's favor, but Sorix calms them all down. This is all about the spike, and Nature just doesn't have time to pull this off. So Sleepers bunker down 1 versus 1. Xander summoning attention, and he'll get it from Sorix.
That's just huge. A very nice try from the side of SRB. Things looking so good in pushing these guys towards the 6th side on the side of Sleepers. That Thrifty almost there. So much damage. Now look at the economy towards the side of Sleepers as well. This kind of dictates how the rest of this half goes. If they're able to get more of a flip, that's huge. The cost for this round, though, from the side of SRB, they did end up using that conversion pads. It did not result in a round win. Yes, some economic damage, but they will not have that Waylay ult from Ion to try to go for another win again. The timeout was used for this round specifically. Maybe the plan was to even use that ult in the last one. How do you get the next 3 rounds, though? That's the question. They don't have that many tools. No ultimates, Lemon. No nothing. And on the side of EP, they're building up some more.
Been a lot of A hits, and I'm surprised SRB are just leaving Xander to be solo. A lot of trust in him, but rotations are coming in quick. Kill contract grabs no one yet again from Tanza. So, well, it's information for him to know, I guess.
Yeah, he's in a really good spot to maybe make a little bit of a difference. Flank here from Ion as well. So this time, if SRB lose this round, they're going to be in a big load of trouble. They're actually trying to rotate out. Sleepers actually win the trades, and now B's open.
Sleepers are so stacked together, but Xander's going to beat them to the punch. He's teleported over to B, and Sleepers already have a read on it. They're going through the defender's spawn, and Nature is paranoid. He loses that. The Odin just too slow, and Ion could put a stop to this. He's in a good spot for at least 1, and no one for the util. Could have had more. Sleepers, though, only up by 1. At least they'll get the plant. They know that Xander's across the world.
Not sure if the Sleepers are playing from whatever compound they're in on the West Coast or if they're in New York at the stock exchange, their trades are looking good. Every single time these guys are in the business, 2 for 1, whatever it is, going through Link against 2 people as well, you only lose 1 body. Profit margins, man, are insane for Sleepers. Now, SRB, the hopes for this entire side land in a 1v2 clutch, what seems to be in an impossible situation. Xander will get onto the spike, we'll get on the site, but what can he do?
And just Sleepers plays so hidden in these post-plant scenarios. The Molly is not on the spike, and at least Sleepers realize that, and now they're desperate to go in, and Sorix saves it for Sleepers.
7-3, and if you're looking at me, I would just be with a big surprise, I don't know, smile, grin, weird look on my face, completely unexpected for the side of Sleepers, and I'm liking what I'm seeing round after round. The aggression is so good. The pivot there, whoever's IGLing and calling the mid-round right now, that was huge from the side of Sleepers. You get in trouble at A, you understand there's still an embed inside the site, an anchor, you end up pushing back over into Link, get the trades out, go up top mid, get a rotate pick, and then double back on A again. I mean, the rotations look good, aggression looks good, Sleepers look really good right now.
Yeah, and look at the amount of deaths that Sorix has. This is not Flame. This is a compliment, guys. He is living so late into these rounds, and the post plans always have some kind of smoke, some molly, some util to delay. SRB have to tap the spike just to get Sleeper's attention. So it's, these post plans are so strong. The A hits are consistent. SRB need to come up with a way to reinforce that, and their plan is, well, if we can't fight them through the front, we'll try to hit them from the flank. And there's some potential there, but it also takes time to go all the way through mid and to abuse a link, to go through spawn. So I think it's a timing thing for SRB.
Yeah, timing thing that sometimes has to also deal with the way you work with your teammates, right? timing is really huge when you are entering with someone else as well. When you're pairing utility, it just seems like Sleepers is doing better. They have better timing because they have better teamwork right now. Leo and Tonzo are working really good at getting in together. Salada and Duck are making space for everyone else. And you mentioned Sorex living all the time. Sorex is doing a really good job at watching his team, seeing exactly what space needs to be filled in terms of gaps, and then being there at those gaps to cover those flanks from SRB, to cover the X factor that could kind of shine out from the side of Xander. Sorex doing a really good job at winning inside the clutch. I'm liking what I'm seeing here.
And this is SRB's map pick, but just a reminder that Sleepers picked this map as well against Core and won it in OT. And I know a lot of people were surprised about Sleepers taking a win against Core. It is so early in the season, though, that everyone's still piecing up their rosters together. Who knows how much time really everyone's had, especially in the new year. So Sleepers with that first win against Core kind of gave everyone an alert that this is a team to take seriously.
Absolutely. We have a few internet issues going on right now, so as we kind of work on them on the back end, we'll be right back. This match is going nowhere. Stay tuned.
Next.
One enemy remaining.
Next.
One enemy remaining. Killed. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
We are back 7-3 for EP at the moment. The Sleepers boys are looking really good so far. I mean, Kiwi, give me the lowdown. What's going on if people are just tuning into this game?
Well, Sleepers are at war. They're walking as an army, as a stack together. No one can stop them, and especially with the ISO, that shield at the front. Well, there's layers, there's complexities to Sleepers, but they're all stuck together, and SRB haven't been able to crack the code, if you will. They're trying to flank, and they're leaving Xander on his own, but he just has a little pistol. He's trying to hide in the smoke. Tonta hunts him down, and that's all it takes behind the Prowler. Duck gives magic to Sleepers, and they're so aggressive on the take, but it's the post plants too. Like, Sleepers also go into hide and go seek mode.
That's tough. It's really interesting on this eco too. They just use this new Viper wall to be able to just scale up on the site. Disrespected multiple times as well, so you have no idea where they're hitting from. It's very tough for SaD or anyone on eco to be able to do anything. Rest of this map, or rest of this round, pretty much is going to be just seeing if SRB can find some value, get some kills to get the eco not going completely out of hand for the side of Sleepers, but they're not finding too much. Exa does get one. Sorex is about to find another here. Satellite, cool pick, and a few kills all around. Everything should be fine for the side of Sleepers now. 8-3, huge advantage. And this is what you want to see when you have this level of composition ready to go. All this aggression is turning into really good rounds.
You would think this would be a dent into the eco, but not really when you're on a 6-win streak. Regardless, last round of the half too, and the fact they're playing down an ult too. Like, I don't think a kill contract has been signed yet, but that doesn't matter when you frag actually in the game with the team. It's almost like they want Tanza part of the stack that is bulldozing down the A site pretty much every round so far. There was some initial hits at B, kind of exploiting Exa, and then Sleepers realized, well, A has been stronger for them, but now we're at a more normal default for Sleepers.
Moth is playing for Sleepers either. They're not really reacting to any of you. They'll have their own plan down. That plan is to stop aggression. Satellite with the peaks. Nature with the sprays. Things are looking good. No one needs to pray at all on the side of SRB. The plan is going well.
Oh, just SRB pushed a link and caught Sleepers asleep at the wheel. And Satellite's got something to say at 30 HP, and it ends up being a 4-8 half. A nice flawless to end the half.
Finally figured it out. It only took about 12 rounds for the side of SRB. They have shut Sleepers down. Now it's their turn to take control on Corrode. People will call it a defensive map, but I feel like the attackers end up deciding where the tempo is and where to actually strike. Yes, some of these sites can be shaped to where defenders kind of can hold it much better, especially as twos, but the attackers can really take their time nitpicking and splitting the map apart is the word I'm looking for, gaining advantages before they even hit the site.
It's like Duck has some plans for mid, and you have a wall right at the front door from Sorex to maybe allow a deep walk up through mid for Sleepers. So I feel like they got some shenanigans up their sleeve. I don't know.
Deploying drone.
Attacking wall going straight for A. Very close cutoff towards the elbow. I wonder how you can use this on the other side. You can actually go all the way up elbow. They would never know if you slow down and then drop the wall later. Interesting, but choose to disrespect all Util, push towards the site. Big scan as they move to take everything for themselves.
Two within the site. It's gonna be tough, and Tanza takes the brunt of the damage with the shield. I love the synergy. Tanza handles it all beautifully. And Nature is left to pick up the pieces in a 1 versus 4, and that'll mean that Sleepers have taken both pistols.
Look how good Tanza is for the environment, right? Reduces the enemy's HP to 0, reuses that gun over and over again, and recycles that shield time after time. I mean, this guy's looking so strong on attack, on defense can hold it down as well. As long as Leo's by his side, feels like nothing can go wrong.
Like, I actually pulled a get down Mr. President like multiple times, and more than enough planet armor for the rest of the team. Let's look at the buys. Oh, we got some Bucky action. What is Leo cooking up? Oh, I'm looking for this mid push, but also the offensive smoke from SRB is what kind of limits the aggression in mid from Sleepers.
Well, with a Bucky can basically be equivalent to like anybody with the most expensive gun on the planet. That double dash shot to be able to refract as well is just so huge. We'll see where Leo ends up here on the retake, actually just choosing the close angle of Link for now. The attack wall here, again, they're slowly going to push up with it. SRB on this eco. The death ball, I guess they want to be strong as 5. No lurks, no big brain plays starting just yet.
It's as safe as you can be for Tanza. It's already going to start spamming through. Nothing on the recon because Sleepers can just escape and fade behind, and Tanza does more than that. He doesn't just defend, he attacks, and SRB already down 1 on pistols, and now it's just the farm show featuring Sleepers.
Flawless anti-eco, the whole team online. So many chances for SRB to get back into this game, but the way that Sleepers have this set up is just so difficult. Roy was talking about it in the last half as well, inside the green room. It was all about, yo, this team from SRB could pick up an operator. They could kind of walk with this forward and stop the death ball coming in from Team Sleepers. The issue is there's an ISO. When you're trying to op that shield, it gets really awkward. You end up sometimes getting baited into some of the most horrible positions against that piece of utility. It's hard to counter. Sleepers using things so well in the last half, doubling down on this half as well. This round, the most important for SRB to win.
Doesn't feel like SRB ever have fights or engagements on their terms. Sleepers know how to escape and disengage, get information first, then fight. And it's kind of leveraging Satellite. And he only has 4 assists, and you're looking for those flashes, those knives, and still nothing there. Sleepers hide away. Nature, though, spamming through the smoke, gets rewarded. And now that gives them a link access to try and converge on Sleepers.
Sometimes all it takes is a bit of luck. The question is this 4-leaf clover reusable? Can they replicate how they just ended up attacking the middle again? Shotgun shot from Leo. He cannot miss.
How do you destabilize a Bucky at the front door? I mean, Xander doesn't have paranoia. You have Satellite with the flash, and Sleepers gonna refract. At least SRB know they can commit into this fight. And now Sleepers have upgrades on their weapons. Satellite just spams through the wall. Not even gonna go for flashes. He's just gonna go for plan B.
Might not be any chance for SRB to push this one back. But at the same time, numbers advantage makes it so that it is kind of more likely than the 2 winning
left
on the side of Sleepers. Still a long road to go. Still have to make it to site. The art hold from Sorax might just be enough to make a difference in making this retake easier for the side of Sleepers.
At the ready, Sorax
planted.
kind of force them within the site, staring into our souls, but can they end them too? Sorax waits for Leo to get into position. SRB playing from main, the gun's sticking out. Now out of fuel, out of options. SRB just playing time. They've really slowed it down. I like that. And wait, some spam coming out as Sleepers try to get vision. Now they're within the site. The spike gets tapped, looking at mid, but everyone from SRB is in main. And just spamming through smoke, I guess, wins games. Who needs to see when he can just shoot? Now protecting the spike for one last time, but wait, through all the noise, you didn't hear the defuse get halfway, but all Satellite needed to do was delay, and it's a clutch for SRB to get on the board.
Almost can see the difference Clove makes even when they're dead. End up having a smoke to help the team inside main as well. I mean, at the same time, it's just tough. It's tough on that defensive retake to be able to win it with those bonus weapons. The goal there for Sleepers is to make sure that you do enough economy damage, and I think that was done. Change some of these weapons into rifles as well. Now it's about trying to finish this game. You don't want to give SRB too much of momentum or too much of a lead to come back into this one on their attacking side. You want to make sure that this defense is strong and they can't just take you down off of one pick.
Like that SRB are, I wouldn't say copying the strat, but just kind of cycling in as a team. Dashing in off the owl drone, looking for pings. No one is home. And Sorax really knows how to play their life. They got a neighbor, though, and a paranoia. And Ion gets ahead of the game. You love to see it. SRB, though, have to keep the front line strong, because here comes Ion. He's dispatched. SRB just outnumbering Sleepers in these moments. Now there's a crossfire. The post plant holds strong, and it's up to Leo. Conversion pass 1v3. Don't expect that to be invested. SRB, I think, have all their checks and balances in order.
Yeah, they're chilling. Can foul what they need to foul and just push Sleepers away. The one thing I like from the differences between these teams, Sleepers was the one that were kind of taking over art, trying to fight for length, doing everything and winning on all sides. SRB are specifically going for one thing at a time. That round's focus, art control. Got it easily, made the plant easier to defend. They're keeping things methodical, keeping it slow. Sleepers still trying to do a lot on all sides, trying to take their ones, trying to get greedy with some of these fights. It might cost them, but they have a bit of a lead to work with to make sure those fights still go in their way.
Good comeback opportunity for SRB. Odin, Hunter's Fury. Sometimes the best way to fight fire with fire is, well, fire. And your own Odin. Yeah, I was gonna say a bucket of water, but there's not really that for a gun. It's just your own Odin. So with kind of this weird buy from Sleepers, I would say SRB have a chance to get a leg up here.
Contract available, though. We want to see that one land at some point this game. Hopefully, a few scans coming in. Paranoia with the waylay combination. Not going to find too much. A knife also dodge, duck. Not going to have too much to work with, but the positioning is looking good so far.
Dexter's hoping to get his one. Hold an angle with the Sheriff. You've seen SRB staggering before, and he's good for the one. Hunter's Fury does exactly what it's supposed to. Clears that lane. Exa being the tip of the spear as the entry of Sleepers has opened up. Be careful of what Leo can do if he wants to activate the convergent paths as well, but on this lower buy, it would be a risk. He has that hero rifle. They're taking their time to wait for the smoke to clear. They want this timing to be perfect. And SRB, so don't fully know where the stack is going to be flooding in from, so a lot rides on X's shoulders. He's not going to be able to pierce through a single one. Convergent paths to clean up the round, and Sleepers have upgrades. They got the kills, and it's just Sander to save the day. He will pop up, but he's going to get camped out. So GG for that, and Sleepers up to 11.
Investing their ultimates in some of the most creative util decisions I've seen as well. They're expecting Leo to hit a double dash. He solo dash, lingers in the air for a second. It breaks the crosshairs. People are thinking, oh, he's gonna land and shoot me. Refracts back, double swing. Oh my God, so beautiful from the side of Sleepers. Past that, once they realize they have an advantage, they double down. They say, okay, let's use conversion paths. That failed, kill contract. You're gone. Swing up, trade in, defuse the spike. I'm loving this team.
It's just so aggressive. There's bait and switches. Sleepers are all shooters too. Their mechanics have all been solid. I mean, look at the kills. There's not like that shining star. Everyone feels very well rounded. And even on lower buys, Sleepers know where to take fights where they can outnumber SRB and then get the upgrades and then swing the round. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Sleepers. The only thing I could see like experience taking down the rookies is when are Sleepers going to be made to sweat enough to change their game plan? It doesn't feel like the Sleepers are too worried right now.
Yeah, we've seen some like different type beats from Sleepers themselves. Yes, they are the aggro team, but they have noise cutted before. They have experimented with splits. They have worked mid. Their strong suit, though, is just taking the game to your face. That's exactly what they're doing. Solana, so talented. Tonza in the business. But I really want to highlight Leo, both in this last round and in this overall game. The kills will not show you exactly the work he's putting in, but the decisions he's making with his utility, the uniqueness of this man's waylay, being able to go in, but also be able to fight with how Tonza enables you, is just so valuable to this team. Going in for it again, gets information, chooses to keep scaling. I mean, it's not going to matter. Leo's in the business, disrespects the moment when it matters and when it's needed, and ends up with another kill.
Just a perfect defensive smoke from Sleepers to cut off Ion's double dash and allow that A-Link player to push up and take the 1v1 versus Ion, who obviously isn't expecting to be shot in the back. So liking just that anti-strat from Sleepers. Now you got the null command. SRB definitely hanging back, seeing what this lure from Exa can get them, because they're running out of bodies and they're running out of options. But that's a nice pick from Nature to help things out.
Gotta remember too that this is SRB's map pick. Sleepers just have the superpower of choosing their opponent's map. I think you were talking about that, Lemon, or how they're picking up everyone else's map pick and just winning. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, Sleepers have also picked Corrode in yesterday's matchup. So I think this map set overall, both teams are very proficient in. It's about that execution and really adapting overall. And you thought that SRB, just all the experience that they had, they'd be able to anti-strat that so well, but definitely suffered in that first half, trying to make up for it here. But Sleepers have two at the door ready. Owl drone in, sees nothing. So there could be a sense of security as SRB start to converge onto the side. They have 13 seconds. They gotta go when Sleepers know it. They start to show face. The smoke's gonna dissipate at the top of this tower. And Sorix and Ion work beautifully together to dismantle SRB.
Might have put magnets in their bullets during that attack pause, and I guess that SRB's heads are made of metal, because right now, nothing is missing for the side of the Sleepers. Going into this last round too, you can look at the economy on the left side for Team SRB looking low. Not sure what they're gonna have in this last round. 6-12 match point for Team Sleepers.
Match point.
And when Ion's having a rough day or just a slower start, and it's not even that he's doing anything wrong, it's just Sleepers know how to isolate him away from the rest of the flock. And as much of a goat as Ion is, this is still a new role for him, although he's probably flexible in the ranked games too. But if you can have Ion have a bad day, you can see how this has really broken apart SRB's chances.
Still, Ion will be the difference maker in this round. Question is, how many more can they replicate from here on out? Spam will come in, conversion paths ready to go, and has to be kind of used unless SRB find a way on attack to gain an advantage. Exa already rattled down with what seems to be that Odin. Having to use a Bulldog now at 56 HP.
That knife really screwed things up for Sleepers because SaD has the ult. Could have had Leo dash and refract and info, have SaD go farm, but that knife forced them to go to a plan B. Flash is keeping SRB humble, but in a corner they bite back, and here's Ion getting involved. Sleepers caught off guard. This opens things up. A link is exploitable, but is this a pivot opportunity with the spike still in spawn?
They've got time. Question is, how are they going to use it? Again, I like the widespread coverage here from Team Sleepers. Yes, you have less numbers. Okay, let's play into that. Double up on A elbow. The trades matter there. And then keep one player all the way on B in Art. Just having information is good over here. The trades don't matter as much. You might just want to stop a little bit of a push into it, but you want info as to whether the spike is coming over to B.
Sorix is that type of anchor that'll play their life, but the knife did just expose them, and now you can't use any of the util you have left. SaD could use the ult and win it here. Coming through mid, we'll have to go up against Ion. Convergent pass available, and that's a big win condition for SRB, but you got a marathon, not a sprint ahead of you. SaD locks in on Ion, caught sleeping, and here comes SaD, who still needs to be taken down, but he is the final boss. The ult is procced. It's just Exa, what feels like against the world. SaD 4K back in the game, and Sleepers put SRB to bed.
SaD. This entire team cannot be stopped. Just one piece of the puzzle. Sleepers, the map 1 winner, and what seems to be one of the biggest upsets we've seen in challengers so far.